Imagine standing in a quiet rural village at sunrise. Smoke rises from piles of crop waste, rice husks, corn stalks, coconut shells, materials most people see as useless leftovers. For decades, this waste has been burned, dumped, or ignored. But what if I told you that this so-called rural waste is now being called black gold, and it's quietly powering a billion-dollar global revolution? In the next few minutes, you'll discover how something farmers once struggled to dispose of is becoming one of the most valuable climate tech materials in the world. This is the story of biochar, and how rural communities are standing at the center of an economic and environmental transformation that could redefine agriculture, carbon markets, and sustainable business forever. The idea behind biochar isn't new. In fact, it's ancient. Over 2,000 years ago, indigenous communities in the Amazon created something known as terra preta, or dark earth. They mixed charcoal with organic waste and buried it in the soil. The result? Land so fertile that it still supports crops centuries later. For a long time, this knowledge was forgotten. Modern agriculture chased chemical fertilizers and quick yields. But now, as soil degradation, climate change, and rising input costs collide, the world is rediscovering what ancient civilizations already knew. Biochar is created by heating organic waste, like agricultural residues, forestry byproducts, or even animal manure, in a low-oxygen environment, a process called pyrolysis. Instead of turning into ash or smoke, the biomass transforms into a stable, carbon-rich material. This carbon doesn't easily break down. When biochar is added to soil, it can remain there for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. That's where the magic begins. Here's why biochar is being called black gold. First, it dramatically improves soil health. It increases water retention, improves nutrient availability, and supports beneficial microbes. Farmers using biochar often see stronger root systems, better crop yields, and reduced dependence on chemical fertilizers. In drought-prone regions, this alone is game-changing. But the real explosion in interest comes from something much bigger: carbon removal. Unlike most climate solutions that only reduce future emissions, biochar actually locks carbon away. Plants absorb carbon dioxide from the air as they grow. When those plants are converted into biochar and buried in soil, that carbon is effectively removed from the atmosphere for centuries. This makes biochar one of the most credible and scalable carbon-negative technologies available today. Governments, corporations, and climate investors have taken notice. Companies aiming for net zero targets are now paying for verified biochar carbon credits. In simple terms, businesses are buying proof that biochar has permanently removed carbon from the atmosphere. This has turned what was once agricultural waste into a valuable financial asset. And this is where rural economies enter the picture. Across developing and developed countries alike, rural regions are sitting on massive untapped biomass reserves. Rice straw in India, corn stover in the United States, sugarcane bagasse in Brazil, coconut shells in Southeast Asia. These materials are often burned in the open, contributing to air pollution and health problems. Biochar production offers an alternative. Instead of smoke and waste, farmers can generate income. Small-scale pyrolysis units can now be installed directly in rural areas. Farmers or cooperatives collect agricultural residues, convert them into biochar, and sell the product to soil companies, carbon credit platforms, or even directly back to local farms. What was once a cost or a liability becomes a revenue stream. This shift is quietly reshaping the economics of rural life. In some regions, farmers are earning more from selling biochar and carbon credits than from the crops themselves. Local jobs are created in biomass collection, processing, quality control, and logistics. Entire village-level microeconomies are forming around this new black gold. On a global scale, the numbers are staggering. The biochar market, once a niche agricultural input, is now projected to grow into a multi-billion-dollar industry within the next decade. Climate funds, venture capital firms, and multinational corporations are pouring money into biochar startups. At the same time, governments are beginning to recognize biochar as a legitimate climate mitigation tool, opening the door to subsidies, grants, and policy support. But this revolution is still in its early stages. Challenges remain: scaling production responsibly, ensuring fair benefits for farmers, maintaining quality standards, and preventing corporate capture of what should be a grassroots opportunity. The question isn't whether biochar will grow. The question is who will control it, and who will benefit the most. To understand where the real money is being made in the biochar revolution, we need to look beyond the farms and into the rapidly expanding supply chain that surrounds this material. Biochar is no longer just a soil amendment sold in bags. It has become a climate asset, a commodity, and in some cases, a financial instrument. At the center of this transformation are biochar producers and aggregators. These companies operate pyrolysis facilities at different scales, from village-level units processing a few tons a day to industrial plants handling thousands of tons of biomass annually. Their revenue doesn't come from a single source. They sell biochar to agriculture companies, landscaping firms, and soil restoration projects. They sell carbon removal credits to global corporations. Some even generate renewable energy from the gases released during pyrolysis, feeding electricity back into local grids. Carbon credits are where valuations start to soar. High-quality biochar credits can sell for significantly more than traditional offset credits because they represent long-term, measurable carbon storage. Tech companies, airlines, manufacturing giants, and financial institutions are competing to secure these credits as pressure mounts to meet climate commitments. As demand increases, so does the value of reliable biochar production. This is attracting serious investment. Climate-focused venture capital firms are backing biochar startups. Development banks are funding rural pyrolysis infrastructure. Governments are exploring biochar as a tool for meeting national emissions targets. What was once an agricultural practice is now part of the global climate economy. But the most critical piece of this system remains the rural producer. Without biomass, there is no biochar. And without fair participation, the system risks repeating old patterns, where raw materials come from rural areas while profits flow elsewhere. This is why ownership models matter. In some regions, farmer cooperatives own and operate biochar units themselves. In others, public-private partnerships ensure revenue sharing from carbon credits. The most successful models treat farmers not just as suppliers, but as stakeholders. When rural communities have equity in the process, biochar becomes more than an income boost, it becomes long-term economic resilience. There's also a powerful environmental feedback loop at play. Biochar improves soil fertility, which increases agricultural productivity. Healthier soil retains more water, reducing vulnerability to droughts and floods. Reduced crop burning improves air quality and public health. These benefits compound over time, creating regions that are not only more profitable, but more livable. However, scaling this revolution responsibly is not simple. Quality control is critical. Poorly produced biochar can be ineffective or even harmful. Carbon accounting must be transparent and verifiable to maintain trust in the market. Logistics remain a challenge, especially in remote rural areas. And policy frameworks are still catching up with the science. This is where the next phase of the biochar revolution will be decided. Standards bodies are developing certification systems. Digital platforms are emerging to track biomass sources, production methods, and carbon storage outcomes. New reactor technologies are making pyrolysis more efficient and accessible. The industry is professionalizing fast, but it must do so without losing its grassroots foundation. Looking ahead, the implications are enormous. Biochar sits at the intersection of agriculture, climate action, waste management, and rural development. Few solutions operate across so many sectors at once. As climate pressures intensify and the world searches for scalable carbon removal, biochar stands out not because it's futuristic, but because it's practical. The real revolution isn't just technological. It's philosophical. For generations, rural waste was treated as a problem to be eliminated. Biochar flips that narrative. Waste becomes value. Carbon becomes an asset. Villages become climate solution hubs. And perhaps most importantly, this shift challenges the idea that progress must come at the expense of rural communities. Instead of being left behind, rural regions are positioned at the front lines of a global transformation, one where sustainability and profitability are no longer opposites, but partners. So the next time you see smoke rising from a field or crop residue piled on the roadside, remember this: what looks like waste today could be tomorrow's black gold. A quiet revolution is already underway, and it's being built not in boardrooms or laboratories, but in the fields, farms, and villages that the world once overlooked. If the future of climate action is about removing carbon, restoring land, and empowering communities, then biochar isn't just part of the solution. It may be one of the most powerful stories of transformation our generation will witness.